This past offseason, we've seen a lot of movement happen within the NBA. Some shocking moves and some not so shocking moves. The landscape of the NBA is changing, as we saw with the crowning of a new team winning the NBA title, that being Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks. What's good, and welcome to Sports R Us. Today we're going to run down a few moves that were made this offseason and how I feel about those moves. Before we get started, hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to see more content like this. The Chicago Bulls made some major moves this offseason. Now, I thought Zach LaVine would demand a trade soon, with them not receiving any help and possibly wasting away his good years on a bad team. The Bulls must have had that on their mind as well, which made them execute a sign and trade for Lonzo Ball, who has stepped up his game with the Pelicans over the last year. The fact that he has a knack for passing and his ability to shoot would help the Bulls put some W's up for the upcoming season. Not only did they make that move, but the Bulls also acquired DeMar DeRozan, who will provide some consistent mid-range scoring because he's one of the mid-range wizards in the league. Like, he's one of those people that's still playing old school basketball and doesn't have a problem with staying consistent from that mid-range. So that'll be able to spread the floor. Somebody like Lonzo Ball, who can also hit threes. You got Zach LaVine, who can go inside. So that's going to be a big time thing. Now, I won't call this team a big three yet, but we'll find out within the first 40 games into the season exactly what will happen. But I'll give them a team right now that I would say is big three potential. So after 40 games, we'll be able to come back, assess, and see exactly, if they have lived up to that big three status. But currently, right now, I have them as big three potential. They also added on a nice role player, Alex Caruso, who was also with the Lakers last year. The Lakers let him go, so he'll provide some good on-ball defensive intensity, and I think that'll help the Bulls out a lot. Now, moving on to the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat made a deal bringing Kyle Lowry over to partner with Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. Not to mention they already have Victor Oladipo, who also signed back on with the team. Shockingly, he signed back, from what I was seeing, with the minimum contract, so he did it for the veteran minimum to come back to the team. And if he's healthy, he will be a big piece for this team. So I'm not too confident as it pertains to Kyle Lowry moving on to this team. I feel like, he's kind of past that time. I can be wrong, but I don't feel as big as everybody was trying to make it seem. But I do feel with the combination of Kyle Lowry, Jimmy Butler, having Bam Adebayo, and if Victor Oladipo is healthy, that this team won't get swept this upcoming season. Oh yeah, and they also added in NBA champion PJ Tucker as well. So that's somebody that, I don't know how they were able to get him away from the Milwaukee Bucks, but he has that defensive intensity that he can bring to the team, and also he has that corner three that he loves to hit. The next team we're going to switch over to is going to be the New York Knicks, who added in Kemba Walker after the Oklahoma City Thunder bought him out. If he's healthy, that'll help them out. However, I still believe that they need to make one other significant move to help out Julius Randle. Somebody like, I would think, maybe like a Bradley Beal, seeing that Bradley Beal won't be coming over to the Lakers, which I'm still mad about that the Lakers didn't find a way to make that deal happen. And also with, people saying that he might possibly go to the Warriors, but if the Knicks can find a way to, I don't know who they would have to send over or what they would have to package together in order to make that happen. But if I was the Knicks, I'll be looking to have somebody like Bradley Beal come onto the team, either Bradley Beal or somebody like De'Aaron Fox, who also puts up some great numbers. And with Sacramento, I just don't see them going anywhere currently right now unless they make some significant trades or big-time acquisitions maybe next year in free agency. But I highly doubt it. So if I'm the Knicks, I'm pushing for somebody like De'Aaron Fox or Bradley Beal will be a nice addition to come to the Knicks in the near future. I just want to stop by and say that the Pelicans did a whole bunch of nothing. And that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to say. No moves whatsoever to keep Zion Williamson happy. They didn't make not one move that made sense this offseason. They're sitting on their hands. I don't understand what they're doing. I did like the pickup of the coach that they got from the Phoenix Suns coaching staff. I hope that he does something great. But they haven't made any big-time moves to me that will make them sustain and feel as if they're going to make a big leap next season. I could be wrong. I do believe in Zion Williamson. I believe that Brandon Ingram is on point, but they lost Lonzo Ball and they didn't fill that void with something that I feel is significant enough to push it to the next level. So I just wanted to say that the Pelicans are trash currently right now as an organization because they didn't make any changes whatsoever, but I still believe in Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram. Now, the big news came out of LA with the Los Angeles Lakers having a garage sale for most of their team, clearing house and revamping with 8 new players this past offseason. That includes Trevor Ariza and Dwight Howard, who I 100% didn't believe that they should have got rid of in the first place. They should have kept Dwight Howard in the fold. At least somebody. They needed either Dwight Howard or JaVale McGee to stay last year, and I'm glad that they were able to get back D. Howard. I feel like they missed a chance last year keeping him, but I'm glad that they got him back. They also got Kent Bazemore, Wayne Ellington, Malik Monk, who's a three-point shooter, Kendrick Nunn, and Carmelo Anthony, who we finally get to see on the same team with LeBron James, which I wanted this to happen at least within the past 3 seasons. I don't know why it didn't happen before, but I would have liked to have seen Carmelo Anthony come to the Lakers about 2 seasons ago, to try it out with LeBron. But we're finally going to see it, and the fact that Carmelo Anthony is still shooting 40% from the three-point line. So because of that, I feel as if he's going to have one of those big years because he won't have any pressure on him to do anything. It's really just going to be, as long as LeBron James is executing, Anthony Davis is executing, and one of the big moves that they had this season, which was to get Russell Westbrook to come to the team. Now, listen, I love watching Russell Westbrook play basketball, and I'm interested to see exactly how this is going to work. When this first came up, I wasn't a big component for this. I wasn't somebody that said that they should go for it when it was like about a week prior to this. The Lakers was talking about, and there was rumors swirling that the Lakers will possibly get Russell Westbrook. I wasn't a big person that said that they should get him. But now, since they're going to have him, and that wound up being a big acquisition, which actually came prior to free agency. So it wasn't something that was done during free agency. It came prior to free agency. The big news came out that trade happened, which was them sending over so many different players from last year, including Kyle Kuzma, thank God. We're really going to see what happens with Russell Westbrook. Now, everyone seems to have an issue with the ages of each player with this team, which I don't, because LeBron knows what he's doing. He makes any situation look good. He's a smart enough player. He can work through any situation whatsoever. So, especially with him behind the scenes, and we all know that behind the scenes he's working with the team, pointing out different players that he will suggest the team to get. Not saying that he's making sure that they get them, but he's pointing out and he's saying, I would like to play with this player. I would like to play with this player. And these different players that he has compiled together, even though the ages are up there, I believe that LeBron James likes to play with seasoned players. So these are seasoned players. And with the ball in his hand, him being able to share the ball with Russell Westbrook, which is one of the biggest things, which I won't say that there's going to be a primary ball handler with this team. Everybody's asking who's going to be the primary ball handler. I believe that they're going to share it. Because they talked about, it was reported that LeBron James and Anthony Davis had a conversation with Russell Westbrook 2 weeks prior to this happening. So if they had a meetup or if they had a conversation, I'm pretty sure they spoke about the fact that LeBron needs the ball in his hands and Russell needs the ball in his hands. They're both willing to compromise in order to make this work. So I think that this will be a shared job for both Russell and LeBron in this upcoming season. Now, ultimately, whatever it takes to win, I believe that these guys are going to do it. They're going to adjust their games to do so. I think with this team, it would allow each of them to get the proper rest throughout the season, so everyone will be 100% ready for the postseason coming up. So all of these moves were good by each team, and I can't wait to see what happens and how this plays out next season. Thanks for watching. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button and hit that like button if you enjoyed. I make a lot of content like this, and I would have a lot of content like this coming in the future. These are my thoughts as it pertains to what happened this offseason, as it pertains to free agency, but we'll get into a lot in the future. This has been Sports R Us. I appreciate y'all.